Alright guys, Papa Pepper, I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about just raising children and kind of doing it in a way that makes sense. Up here, I've got two of my kids, two of my children. Sweet Pepper's over there, right there. My monster truck is in there. And Sweet Pepper's like 3. No, she's 4 now. She's 4. Okay. Monster truck is 5. And they're out here taking care of the animal chores. Honestly, some weeks I don't really see a lot of our poultry or rabbits or other things. I'll take care of the sheep a little more on my own. And the goats, be a little more involved with them. But a lot of the smaller stuff, like I just don't even see because the kids just wake up in the morning, they ask if they can go do their chores, they go out and do their chores. Sometimes the first one up will do the chores for all the kids. They kind of got split up into 3 different groups, just because we've got, 4 different bigger kids besides the 1-year-old. But the point is that I can sit there and take these kids right now, and I could discourage them in a way that by the time they're able to actually be more helpful, they won't even want to help anymore. Monster truck, come over here, grab a seat quick. You can come stand behind me too, little girl. So here's the deal, this one, little, cute. This guy here, right? He's little, he's cute too. Now, he can carry like 4 T-posts at a time, guys. T-posts are pretty heavy. It's part of the reason I have muscles, from carrying so many T-posts around. And there's a lot of things that he can participate in and help out with at a certain level. There's a lot of things that he's going to struggle with as well. But the point is, if I completely discourage him right now and don't invest the time encouraging him and letting him function at whatever level he's at, then by the time he's almost my size, and it will be a huge blessing, he'll be so far gone from helping me and so far just not even in his realm of desire that it'll be worthless. Like even these girls here behind me now, okay? They got a 50-pound bag of quail feed. Hey, isn't that heading back there to the quail? So they missed their thing, but they use the bottom of a shopping cart. They unload that from the truck themselves sometimes. Use the bottom of a shopping cart, one pulls, one pushes, and they take care of this stuff. So even with our 1-year-old, man, we were sorting seeds the other night, right? We were doing some Chinese red noodle beans, and Monster Truck and I were breaking them up, and we were putting the good ones in a jar to sell at our online store, and save some for next year too. And then the other ones we were just putting in the compost or chicken feed pile. And the little guy wants to help, right? So we set up our 1-year-old in the middle of the table. We give him an empty jar, and we start grabbing the good stuff and just kind of sliding it across the table to him, and he's picking up and putting them in. Eventually, he'll be able to crack open his own dried Chinese red noodle beans and sort out the good seeds and the bad seeds, but he wants to help. He wants to be involved. So I'm going to find a level that he can be involved at, I'm just moving away from the guineas for a moment, that allows him to function and build skill, build confidence, build just a bond with the family and functioning at the level that he can. Even those buildings back there, I don't know how many you can see. There's all my little buildings. My main helper in all of that is a 5-year-old boy, okay? In fact, those kids, seriously, oak is one of the heavier woods. It just is. But they will actually take the dried oak that I've had on the ground, they will load the trailer completely up with it, big oak boards, and then I'll drive over to the building site and they'll unload the whole thing. It's absolutely insane in some ways because some people couldn't get their teenager to do that. I consider that to be a flaw in parenting and not exactly something that's inherently wrong with the child. It's just the child reverted to the default setting, and with the lack of encouragement and stuff, they just didn't kind of reach their full capacity. They didn't, as far as just even being a blessing, as far as being a productive human and that type of stuff. Like I said, I think that's kind of a flaw of parenting. But one thing that I heard a while ago is, do you know that by the time most kids are about 5 or 6, they're pretty much done drawing? By the time a lot of kids are 5 or 6, they pretty much give up on drawing because they've been so discouraged by people critiquing what they're trying to draw. Think about that for a moment. Tiny little children who just don't even feel like drawing anymore because of all the grief they get from adults, from parents, from others out there. I mean, that's really lame in my book. Now, I'll tell you one thing. To work with children, as it is to teach anything, you're going to invest more time up front to hopefully get a return on that investment later. It's always quicker just to do it yourself, than try to teach somebody else how to do it. But especially when you've got like a pile of kids like mine, who again, they're the ones doing all the work right now while I'm wandering around with a camera, rambling to people on the internet, right? But it always takes longer to teach than just to do it yourself. And so many parents get frustrated teaching their children that they just give up. They're like, it's easier for me to do it myself. And then by the time that their kids could actually be a real huge blessing and fully capable, or as the parents kind of hit their downward slide as they get older, their bodies kind of wear a little thinner. Well, not always thinner, right? But the children could actually be doing a better job than the parents at some of the different tasks. But by that point, the kids are so, never been trained, never been taught, never been encouraged, that they don't really even function in those levels. They don't really even bless the family in the way that they could. So that's kind of my ramble for you today. It's kind of where I'm at, what I'm thinking about, what I'm looking at, because I can reap such a return on my investment if I'm patient now. If I allow my children to function at the level that they're capable of now. If I include them in different things. And I mean, you should see that guy. Even my little guy, when the Yeti was here from Freedom Point, the one thing he did is he made a comment about my daughter, my older daughter. He's like, wow, not only is she really helpful, but she's intuitive. Like, she can see what you're doing and she knows what you're going to need next, and she'll like go get the tool or go get these things. And that's because the kids are exposed to it. They watch me. But that little guy, our little buddy Pepper, who's about 1.5 now. But if you grab a broom, you know what that kid does? He runs and finds a dustpan. Straight up, he does. He's 1. But we let him be involved. We let him help. And I'll tell you what, by the time he's 3 or 4 and he can actually sweep the floor for us, and he actually is encouraged with that because he knows that it needs to be done, and he feels a blessing, a joy in the fact that he can play a role in helping us do that and benefit and bless his family, that's going to be huge. So we'll let him grab a dustpan right now. And he may spill a little bit on the way to the garbage, okay? But who cares? Also, if you think about, if he sees that the toilet paper roll is empty, he'll go get a new toilet paper roll. This kid's 1.5 years. But he sees what goes on, he sees what needs to be done, and then we encourage him in checking these things out. Look at that one there. Nice little quail. But, these are some of my kids, guys. I'm new at this. She's not even 9. Never been a parent before. My wife's pregnant with the 6th. We're going to have 6 kids, 8 and under. That's quite a few packed into a small thing, especially with no twins. But if I can take these children now and teach them and train them, I'm going to have even more of a blessing later, because they're such a blessing now. And I may not have a lot of experience, but I've got a lot of incentive, and that's why I try to be intentional in the things that I do. I try to encourage these kids. I try to build them up and equip them with real skills. And, like so much of this stuff too, you wouldn't believe how much like this garden these kids have helped with, how much work they've done. Actually, somebody just made a comment the other day. We were featured in a post by Homesteaders Co-op on Steam It, because we opened our own online store as a vendor on homesteaders.com, homesteaderscoop.com. I'll link it in the description anyway. But this one, they all started making some scrunchies, but I told them I want a slight inventory built up of these different things they're crocheting and doing before we actually list something. So she had 3 rainbow ones, so we listed them. And they featured us, and they said, not only are these kids helping out with providing the food for the family, but now they're helping pitch in with the financial thing too, by turning their hobbies, into finances for the family. And I'll tell you what, we've got 2 orders so far, but one of them was just ordering one of the things that she made. So it's pretty cool, guys. Like I said, this guy might not look like much to a lot of you guys, but there's a lot of potential here, and I'm going to let him help me and function, you know, at the level he's able to. And I'm going to encourage him and build him up. And these are the ones here. Like I said, these three. You guys loaded a whole trailer full of that oak boards, right? That stuff is heavy, guys. It's oak. It's not pine. It's oak. And then I pulled it over there, and what did you guys do when I pulled it over there?
We unloaded it.
How long do you think it took you to unload that whole trailer full of wood?
Like 1 minute.
It was like less than 2.5 minutes, guys, and they unloaded a whole trailer of just, you know, it was an inch thick oak boards, about 8 feet long, you know, a variety of widths. So, I don't know. That's it for today, guys. Hopefully some of you guys aren't past your prime. Hopefully some of you guys still got little kids out there. Hopefully some of you guys got kids on the way. Otherwise, if you got, you know, parents, if you are the parents of the next generation of parents raising your grandkids, you know, maybe shoot this video over to them just as a little encouragement, a little boost. We all need encouragement out there, and it can get rough in this life. So it's just part of what I've been thinking about and enjoying and rejoicing in lately is just the return I'm already reaping on my investment. And even, like I said, sometimes people ask me about the animals. I haven't really seen them in like a week. You know, I haven't really checked in on them. You know, the kids notify me if we've got an issue, and otherwise they kind of run a certain amount of the show. They've got their evening and morning chores they do real quick, and they kind of keep things running. And it's nice too, because with Muscovy ducks and chickens and quail and rabbits and guinea fowl and all sorts of sheep and all sorts of goats and a cow and a dog, like, it's nice. It's kind of a lot going on, but less for me to actually do personally. So, all right, guys, Papa out. As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.